We're in the Scholar series of ABM. Here we are covering important theory, numericals, and objective questions. So follow the series from the start. Let's start. So today we'll be studying some part of this. We'll be studying some theory and some part of the numerical over here. Okay. So there are two main areas of inferential statistics. Now this is an important topic in your this ABM. Okay, means this estimation. Okay, inferential means from which you can draw the inferences. One is estimation and second is testing of hypothesis. Estimation means what I am doing, sitting on the bench work, means sitting over here. Okay, so estimating, doing specifically on the calculations. And testing of hypothesis means what I assume something and go on the field and then find out the real answer. Estimation means doing the calculations more. This is going on the field more. So estimating parameters. This means taking a statistic from your sample data and using it to say something about the population parameter. Now look at this. Taking the statistic from your sample data means something which I have collected already. I'll be using that and estimating something about the population. Now what do you mean by this concept? Okay, let me explain you. Say this. Suppose if this is, let's say, my state. Okay, let's say Delhi. Okay, this is my Delhi. So let's say I have to do a survey of let's say 1 lakh people in Delhi. 1 lakh. Okay, people in Delhi. So will I be able to do 1 lakh people survey over here? Means not possible. So what will I do? I'll take samples over here from 4 corners of Delhi. Okay, and find out whatever I require. Suppose if I require the salaries of these 1 lakh people or the persons of Delhi. Okay, I require the average salary of Delhi. Okay, so in that case, is it possible for me to take it from the entire population? Go to every house and check, oh, what is the salary? Not possible. So what will I do? I'll take samples from, let's say, 4 corners. Here there can be more corners also. Find out the salaries and then apply that, using it to say something about the population. So apply it to the entire Delhi. Okay, that's what is estimation. Now what are mutually exclusive events? Mutually exclusive means what? Things are mutually exclusive, that are mutually exclusive are not able to occur simultaneously. So simultaneously they won't occur at all. Okay, means what? Can it occur simultaneously that you pass also and you fail also in any exam? No, these are exclusive events. Either you pass or you fail. Okay. In business, this is typically concerning the undertaking of projects or allocating the budget. Now, what do you mean by this? Suppose, let's say I'll ask you one question. If you are having 1 lakh rupees, okay, 1 lakh, and these 1 lakh rupees, you can give it for either two of the projects. One is holiday, you want to go on a holiday, okay, or second is your studies. Let's say your studies, okay. So you want to give it for your studies. Somewhere you might have to go for studies and you require that 1 lakh rupees fees or anything. So where will you go? Both the things can't happen, right? Either you can have the cake in your hand or you can eat it. Both the things can't happen. So this is known as exclusive. So you'll have to select one of these. So definitely you'll select the studies. Of course, there might be someone who says holidays, 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 isn't it? Jokes apart, but studies is the main part, right? So in business, it typically it is this is typically concerning the undertaking of projects and allocating the budget. Similarly, in companies also we face the same problem. Budget is limited and projects are many. If two things are not mutually exclusive, not means what? They can occur simultaneously. It means the existence and occurrence of one does not necessarily mean the other cannot exist. Okay, what do you mean by this? See here, whenever I say anything is exclusive, mutually exclusive, okay, then what does it mean? Both the things can't occur at the same time. But if they are not mutually exclusive, it means what? Both the things can coexist at the same time. Means what? I can have, see here, scoring a first class and passing. Scoring a first class and passing, both are not mutually exclusive. Why? Because I can pass as well as score in the first class, but passing and failing are mutually exclusive. Simple, got it? Type yes in the comment section if you have understood this concept. Type yes right now. Okay. So have you understood mutually exclusive, number one? Number two, have you understood estimation? Then testing and hypothesis. This is not covered because this is not a part of your studies. Okay. I've just given you in brief what do you mean by this. Okay. But testing of hypothesis is not a part of your studies. Your part of studies is estimation. Okay. Focus on whatever is there in the exam. Don't focus on too much knowledge. Okay. Because otherwise what happens, statistics is a huge topic. Everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, remember you get number one, free YouTube series on all the subjects of JIB and CIB. All, specifically all. Okay. Secondly, you get the latest updates from IIBF. Now see here, it's exam time. IIBF will start the notifications now. What? This exam postponed, that exam postponed. This timing changed, that timing changed. Something like that. This is a new type of questions we'll be adding something. So all these notifications which you have received are explained over here on Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. So subscribe to it, click on the bell icon, click on the like button, share it with your friends. Okay. Random experiment or trial. So what is this? This is the last definition for today. Then we'll be solving the numericals. Random experiment or trial. So an operation or experiment conducted under the identical conditions and which has number of possible outcomes is called as random experiment. So conducted under identical conditions. Identical means what? Which are similar. What do you mean by this? When we designed a COVID vaccine during the COVID time, India was the first country to design such a huge mass scale of COVID vaccine. How did we do it? Identical conditions. Whatever are the symptoms of COVID, whatever are the qualities of that COVID, that microbe, whatever was that, similar conditions were created in the lab, and then the this vaccine was tested. So that is known as identical. Chandrayaan. How was it succeeded? Identical conditions were first created in the lab. Okay, which has a number of possible outcomes. Right? Possible outcomes can be anything. Chandrayaan could have crashed like two, but it succeeded. Why? Because the identical conditions were so matching. They were created with so much of the in details that the crashing was 0%. And possible outcomes, so number of possible outcomes is called as a random experiment. Okay, tossing a coin, throwing a dice, selecting a card of packs. So these are all bookish examples. The latest examples are this COVID vaccine, designing a COVID vaccine, designing a Chandrayaan. These are all the latest examples. Okay. Now let's solve the numericals. Okay. Let's check these numericals. Okay. Simple ones, but in exam these come to you for 1 mark. Okay. Many a times 1 mark, but we get confused over here. These 1 marks are in your pocket actually. See this. What is the question? The percentage of marks obtained by a student in a monthly test are given below. So these are the 5 tests given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And these are the percentages: 69, 71, 73, 68, 74. Right? 5 tests, 5 marks. Based on the above table, find the probability of a student getting more than 70 of the student getting more than 70% marks in a test. So suppose if I take the test number 6, what is the question actually? Suppose if I take this test number 6 now, 6. What is the chance that the student will get more than 70%? That is the question. How will you understand this? Here, question is very simple. Forget the 6 now. Okay, we will focus on only 5. So, out of 5, total test is 5. Out of 5, how many are above 70? Above 70. So, above 70 is what? 3, right? So, above 70, greater than 70, it's 3, right? Total number of tests is what? Total. What is the total number of tests? 5. So, how to find the probability? Probability is always success. See here, probability equals to, you'll say, sir, this question is from probability. How come in this estimation chapter? Remember, all these questions are interlinked. They can be asked anywhere. Okay. So probability equals to, what is success? Success upon sample space. Right? SSL, right? It's sample space. Okay. So success is what? 3. Sample space is 5. So 3 by 5. So my answer will be 3 by 5 or 0.6, 60%, 0.6, or somebody can write 60%. Okay, so there is a 60% probability that the student will get in the test number 6 more than 70. That is the answer, isn't it? In how many ways one king can be selected from 52 cards? Again, see here, I have taken probability questions over here because they are mixed with these estimation chapters, and estimation questions are very simple. I have taken it separately. So in how many ways can you select one king from 52 cards? So again, the same question. Okay, I'll write it simple now. Probability equals to, write it simple. Required, not even the success. What is required upon what is total? Okay, keep it very simple formula. In books they have given this success upon sample space and all this. Keep it simple. What is required? One king. Okay, one king is required. So one king, in how many kings are there in a pack of 52 cards? So four. So out of those four, any king can come, isn't it? So the answer which I am getting over here, required. What is required for me? Means what are the chances of getting something what is required? So there are four chances, four kings. What is the total? Total is 52 cards. 52, right? So what is my answer then? 4 upon 52. So 1 upon 13. Whatever that answer will be. 1 upon 13. That probability is, right? So you can find it in points or keep it this much also. In exam, you divided 1 by 13 and you'll get the answer. Okay. So that is basically, if you want, we can divide it also. Yeah. 0 point. What is that? 0. And then 100. 13 sevens, right? 7s are 91. Again 90 remains, right? So 13 6 are 78. Yeah. 6 0.076. Okay. Or you can keep it 1 by 13 also, depending on what is given in the exam. If in exam they give you 1 by 13, mark it 1 by 13. If they give you this much, mark this 0.0. If they give you in percentages, then it will be 7.6%. Okay. Am I right over here? Yeah. 0.0. Yeah, correct. Yeah. In how many ways one ace king can be selected from 52 cards? Now the probability is changing. See this, probability equals to what is required now? Required is one ace king. Ace. How many, see here, ace king, how many ace kings are there in the pack? Ace means there are four types of cards, right? Ace, heart, and what is the next one? Type in the comment section, everyone. Ace, heart, diamond, right? Diamond is the third one. And last one is what? We call it kilver in our Hindi language, right? So here we call it what? Ace, this four cards, whatever, okay? Those four cards. So how many ace kings are there? There's only one ace king. Kings are 4, but ace king is only 1. And what are the total number of cards? Total 52. So 1 by 52. That is your answer. Simple, isn't it? See, required over here, always remember, formula is simple. Required upon total. Right? Total is always the same in the cards. Required is what? It depends on what is asked. If they ask you one king, so 4 kings are available. One ace king, there is only one king available. If they ask you one diamond king, so again, only one king, right? So got it? Simple. In how many ways one joker can be selected from a pack of 52 cards? One joker. How can you select one joker from a pack of 52 cards? Again, probability equals to required upon total, right? What is required? One joker. How many jokers are there in the pack of 52 cards? How many jokers? Tell me, type in the comment section. How many jokers are there in the pack of 52 cards? There are zero. Zero jokers. Okay, because the two jokers which we have in the pack of cards are separate than these 52 cards. Okay, that's why the answer will be 0 upon 52. 0. That is the probability, isn't it? The largest and the smallest value of a data are 60 and 40 respectively. If the desired number of class intervals is 5, find a class width. This is a separate question. This is from chapter number 3. Okay, chapter number 3, module A. Okay, so class width is required. How to find out the class width? Class width equals to, look at this, width equals to, I'll give you a simple formula. Width equals to range upon Number of classes, number. What is number of classes? This is simple 5. Okay, but what is the range? Range means what? Always remember, range means always the highest minus lowest. What is the highest number? 60. See here, largest and the smallest value. So 60 minus lowest 40. So 60 minus 40, that is 20. So what is my width now? Width equals to 20 upon 5. So that is equal to 4. Okay, so this is my answer. What do you mean by width? What do you actually mean by this word width? What has happened in this? Suppose if you get the answer 4, what do you mean by this? It means your classes are 60 to 64. Okay, then 65 to what will you say? 65, 66, 67, 68, 68. Okay, even this you can make it at 61. This is inclusive group, 61 to 64, 65 to 68, and so on. You can mark it up to, what is the last one? No, not 40. It is starting from 40. Okay, I started from 60. 41 to 44, right? Because its lowest is 41, right? 40. So 41 to 44, or you can start it from 40 also, 40 to 44. Then 44 to 48. This is known as exclusive group. When the ends are matching, this is called as exclusive. This above one was inclusive. Ends were not matching. Okay. So this is the meaning of this. You can go up to 60 over here. Last one will be what? 56 to 60. Okay. That is the answer. Okay. So now everyone.
Hello everyone, welcome to Officer Adda 24/7. My name is Suprabha and I'm your ABM English Medium mentor. So today uh, we are going to have some question from the module D, right? As in the English Medium batch also, that was started yesterday only, right? And in that batch we have already started module B, that is module D, that is. Okay? So in ABM there are total, right, there are total 4 modules are there, and yesterday we have started module D, that is, right. So module A and module B, right, module C and module D. So yesterday in your victory batch, the timing is, paid batch timing is 8 to 9 p.m. and I have started in victory batch, that is ABM from module D, right. Then thereafter I'm going to start your module B, and after that Vishal sir, he is going to take your module A and module C, right. So this is the total 7 chapters you have in your module D, that is. And when we are talking about the weightage part, it will be having approx 25 marks of weightage, right. So this is your question number 1 from the audit chapter, compliance audit. The legal audit of title document required in case of public sector bank for rupees above, that is option A is 2 crore and above, B is 3 crore and above, C is 4 crore and above, and D is 5 crore and above, right. So this is your legal audit. Normally bank, PSB, that is public sector bank, they usually conduct the legal audit, right. But what is the limit? What is the limit of the legal audit? When there is a credit of 5 crore and above. So what is a legal audit is legal audit is all about? That is actually the process of verification of document and record of the company, right. So legal audit, what? Legal audit in case of the amount is 5 crore and above, in that case every bank, RBI actually in 2013 they have issued one circular. In 2013, that is, they have issued one circular, and they have already stated that in case of any loan which is above 5 crore, okay, in year of 2013 they have issued the circular, and they have asked bank to do the legal audit of all the loan account which is over the 5 crore and above on a quarterly basis, right. So every quarter, right, every quarter, quarterly basis, if the loan amount, this is a very important question, the loan amount is, if it is 5 crore and above, right? Then RBI has asked all the bank to do the legal audit where the loan account is actually the 4 crore and above, and the legal audit that will be conducted on a quarterly basis, right? And they have already asked the bank to do the re-verification of the all the title deed. Okay, so they have to do the or re-verification of all the title deed with the respective authority. So that is actually the regular audit exercise till the loan was for that the loan will be fully repaid. Okay, so that will be the quarterly exercise. If any loan amount which is above 5 crore and above, the RBI has already asked the bank to do the legal audit of all the loan account which is over the 5 crore and above on a quarterly basis. So that audit will be conducted on a quarterly basis, right? And apart from that, bank they have the RBI they have asked bank to do the re-verification of all the title deed in case of loan which is above 5 crore and above. So they have to do the re-verification of all the title deed, right? That is re-verification of all the title deed of loan amount which is 5 crore and above. Till this exercise will be the regular exercise quarterly basis till the loan will be fully repaid, right? So this is the condition. So what is the this is the actually the answer is what? The answer is that is 5 crore and above. So this is actually a very important question, right? And you can see that this is a very important question because this is from the RBI circular. In 2013, RBI they have issued this circular. Now we will have the second question that is from the chapter number 32, right? Fraud and vigilance. The lodgement of complaint for fraud amount which is above 500 million is required to register with which of the following? That is Anti-Corruption Branch, New Delhi, Economic Offence Wing, CBI, BSFC, Banking Security and Fraud Cell, CBI Joint Director, Headquarter, New Delhi. So what is the right answer? Tell me. This question actually IIBF they have asked this question in the exam of that is December. In December the ABM exam they have asked the same question that the lodgement of complaint for fraud amount that is 500 million is required to register with which of the following? You can see this table, right? So there are two categories. Number one is private bank, right? And the foreign bank, right? So this is the category when the amount is 10,000 and above and 0. million and above. Okay, 0.1 to 10 million, then 10 million plus. So where you have to report with the right, you have to report with the SFIO, right? You have to report with the SFIO, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So this is the case of, right? This is the case in case of public sector bank and the private sector foreign bank. So this is the SFIO is what? That is Serious Fraud Investigation Office, right? The full form of SFIO is that is Serious Fraud Investigation Office, right? So in case of private bank and foreign bank, if the amount is 10 million and above, right? If any fraud is occurred, right? Any complaint, they have to file the same complaint with the, they have to report the fraud to the SFIO. That is Serious Fraud Investigation Office, right? Now we are talking about the public sector bank. What is a public sector bank? Here we have the, right? These are the category where the amount is 10,000 to 0.1. This is the 0.1 to 30 million and this is the 30 million and above, right? So the all the fraud complaint that will be lodged with the Economic Offence Wing and the Anti-Corruption Branch in case of 0.1 million to that is 30 to 250 million, right? So this is the case. Economic Offence Wing is what? That is actually in case of if there is a staff is involved. Sorry, if there is a we are not knowing that who is involved. Then ACB is what? Audit corruption branch, right? Anti-corruption branch, where actually staff is involved, right? So this is the case, right? And it should be lodged by the regional head, that is from the zonal manager. He will be registered the complaint with the economic offense wing and audit anti-corruption branch, right? Now we have the case of 250 to 500 million, right? Here we have to report this complaint with the CBI, and that too with the BSFC, banking, security and fraud cell, right? Banking, security and fraud cell, right? And if the amount is 500 plus, then the complaint should be registered with the Joint Director, CBI, Headquarter, New Delhi. So this is the case. So the answer of this question, the question is, I am going to repeat the question again. The question is, the lodgement of complaint for fraud amount which is above 5 million is required to registered with which of the following, right? So option A is anti-corruption branch, New Delhi. Option B is economic offense wing, CBI. The third is banking, security, that is fraud cell. The office is in Bangalore. Banking, security and fraud cell, that is CBI. And CBI Joint Director, Headquarter, New Delhi. So the answer is, of course, these are easy one. The CBI Joint Director, New Delhi, right? So please remember this table. This table is very, very important, right? I'll just show you 1 second, right? This is the table is all about. If the amount is 10 to 0. million, then the state police is enough. If the amount is 0.1 to 30 million, then economic offense wing and anti-corruption branch, and the complaint should be lodged by the zonal manager. If the amount is 30 to 250, right? So, and if the amount is 250 to 500 million, then BSFC cell of CBI. And the last one is, if the amount is 500 million and above, then the complaint will be lodged with the Joint Director, New Delhi, right? Now we have the third question. The third question is, identify the oldest phone hacking technique used by the hacker to make free call. Tell me which one is the right answer. You are seeing that there are 4 types of fraud are there, right? So that is actually, what is the right answer here? What can be the right answer? See, this is actually one of the oldest method, right? And the answer is here, that is phreaking, right? So what is the meaning of phreaking, right? The meaning of phreaking is, this is actually the oldest phone hacking technique normally used by the hacker to make the free call, which is called it as a phreaking. So phreaking is what? Phreak is what basically? The phreak is actually, that is someone, right? That is actually the term normally used to include anyone who break or tries to break the security of any network. So phreaking is what? It is a slang word for the breaking actually. Okay? It is the slang word for breaking, right? We called it as a phreaking. Phreaking means what? See, the phreaking means actually the phreak is what? That is someone who break into the telephone network illegally. So normally he is the person, right, who break telephone network right illegally, in a illegal way, right? That is, we called it as a free. So normally they have to make the free long distance, they will make usually the free long distance phone call, or they normally tap the phone line, right? And sometimes they include anyone, it is already about anyone who break or tries break the security of network. So it is basically the slang word which we normally use for the breaking, right? So this is actually the slang word actually, okay, a very famous, and so the answer is here, that is phreaking. The fourth number question is definition of forgery is given under which section of IPC 1860, that is. See, there is a difference between the forgery and the fraud, right? A huge difference between the forgery and the fraud. Fraud is what? To deceive someone, to cheat someone. Okay? While forgery is what? Forgery is actually, that is when you are doing the alteration in the genuine document. Okay? So forgery is what? That is actually you are submitting the false document, or maybe you are giving the alteration to the you are doing the alteration in the genuine document. So that is actually, and you are doing because of the criminal intention to cause damage to any person, right? So normally forgery is defined under section 463 and even 464, but in your book it is written that 463. Okay, otherwise it is included in the 464 or also in the Indian Penal Code 1860, the definition of forgery. So what is the forgery is all about? The offense of forgery is making the false document with the criminal intention to cause damage to any person. Only those act of the forgery which are accompanied by the element of deception and injury can be said to be covered by the definition of forgery under section 463 of Indian Penal Code, right? So that is a forgery. So there is a difference between the forgery and fraud. Forgery will lead to the fraud, definitely, right? Forgery, somehow it will lead to the fraud in the future, right? Now we are having the fourth question, that is fifth question, sorry. What is aimed at deterring the occurrence of the lapses, right? So we have the three type of vigilance. What is a vigilance actually? What is the meaning of vigilance? See, there is a difference in the vigilance and non-vigilance. So what is a vigilance actually? Vigilance is all about when you are carefully watching the possible danger or difficulties, right? So normally we are having the three types here in the vigilance. The number one is, that is punitive, okay? Then preventive. Then the third one is the deductive. Okay? Punitive is what? Punitive vigilance is actually when the fraud is already occurred. Preventive is what? You are trying to prevent that fraud will not be occur. Okay? Prevention type, precaution type. Deductive is what? You are trying to investigate the fraud, that how that fraud was happened actually. Okay? So there are three type of fraud. The punitive, there are three type of vigilance. The punitive vigilance is what? The punitive vigilance is actually that normally comes into the picture when the corruption, when the fraud has already been committed, and normally now punishment is already granted to the deterrent effect on other. So normally it is why we are doing the punishment, why we are giving the punishment, because it will deter the occurrence of the lapses, right? So that the same type of lapses will not occur in the future. So it will actually it comes into the picture when the corruption or fraud has already committed that was. Okay, fraud is already done, it is already committed now, and the punishment they have already granted to have the deterrent effect on other, right? So that same fraud will not occur in the future again, right? Now, so this is the, of course, the answer is punitive vigilance. Now, what is a preventive vigilance, right? Preventive vigilance is actually, that means you are trying to reduce the occurrence of the lapses, right? You are trying to find out that the punitive vigilance is what? Punitive is basically you are trying to do that the fraud will not be occur, right? That is a preventive vigilance, right? You are trying to prevent actually that fraud. Deductive is what? You are trying to find out. So this is the vigilance is aimed at identifying and verifying the occurrence of the lapses. So number 1 is punitive, number 2 is preventive, number 3 is deductive. So here the answer is when we are talking about vigilance is aimed at identifying and verifying the occurrence of the lapses. So that is we called it as a deductive vigilance, right? Now what we are doing in the deductive vigilance, we are trying to find out that whether the fraud is occurred or not and identifying and verifying that what actually occurred. So normally investigation part comes. Okay, I'll explain you this procedure in the paid batch also. This is actually from your chapter 32, last chapter of the module, right? So now so we have done enough question today, and again I'm going to a day after tomorrow I'm going to conduct this session again, and we will continue with the all the question from the module D itself.
Hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. We're in the Scholar series of ABM. Here we are covering important theory, numericals and objective questions. So follow the series from the start. Let's start. When the items included in a sample are based on the judgment of the individual conducting the sample is said to be non-random. Is it true or false? We are talking of this A1 now. A. When the items included in the sample are based on the judgment of the individual conducting the sample is said to be non-random. What do you say, guys? Type in the comment section true or false. I want the answer only in true or false. Individual conducting the sample. Judgment of the individual conducting the sample. It is. Yes, it is. Correct. The answer is here, individual conducting the sample. This is a type of non-probability sampling. So the answer for this is true. Okay. The answer for this is true, everyone. Okay. One sec. Yeah. So the answer is true over here. Let me mark it over here. True. Okay. Second one. A statistic is a characteristic of a population. Now this is a simple one. You must answer this. A statistic is a characteristic of a population. True or false? What do you say? Statistic is a characteristic of a population. Let me see. Everyone, think over it. What is population? What is sample? Suppose if I find the mean of population, what is it called as? Suppose if I find the mean of a sample, what is it called as? Mean of a sample is called as statistic, and mean of a population is called as parameter. So what does it mean? A statistic is a characteristic of not a population, but it's for the sample. So this answer is false. Okay, false over here. Okay, got it, everyone? Answer is false. Next one. See, such questions are asked to you in the exam, and you need to be very clear in your mind about it. A sampling plan that selects members, a sampling plan that selects members from a population at uniform intervals in time order or space is called as stratified sampling. So sampling plan that selects members from a population. So at uniform intervals, this is an important word over here, uniform intervals. So the sampling plan which selects the members at uniform intervals is called a stratified sampling. Is it true? Type fast in the comment section. True or false? What do you think? True or false? True or false? Yes. It is called as true or false? True, false. Yes. Firstly, what are the types of samplings? Probability samplings. There are 4 types of probability samplings. What are those? One is simple random. Yes, type in the comment section. One is simple random. Second one is, yes, everyone. In the comment section, please. Yes. One is simple random. Second is systematic. Correct. Systematic. Second one. Right. Third one, Stratified, correct. And fourth one, cluster. Got it? So here this stratified is the right answer or no? Now you all of you have to search it. You might have the answers also. So this is uniform intervals means it is not stratified sampling. It is called as systematic sampling. So the answer over here is false again. Okay? It is false. Got it everyone? Yeah. Second, next one. As a general rule, it is not necessary to include a finite population multiplier in computation for a standard error, the mean when the sampling size is greater than 50. Okay, let me change this. Let me make it when the sampling size is greater than 30. So now give me the answer. As a general rule, it is not necessary to include a finite population multiplier in computation for a standard error of a mean when the sample size is greater than 30. Now tell me the answer. Yes, it should be greater than. True or false? In the comment section, I want the answer from everyone. Is it true or false? Yes, it is. It is true. 30 is the true answer. Okay, 30 is the true answer. This is true. It should be greater than 30. Then the finite population multiplier is not required in that case. Okay, so the minimum sample size is 30 for these cases. Okay, so now before going ahead, everyone, let me tell you, see this. Join our Telegram channel and our YouTube channel using this. Okay, Telegram and YouTube channel, both the channels you should join. Scan this QR code right now over here. Okay, scan this QR code over here. Scan it and you can join our Telegram plus YouTube. Now, why should you join our YouTube and Telegram channel? Why? See, the reason is in these channels you will be getting all the updates, number one, from this IIBF. Okay, so what is the YouTube channel? Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. Remember, there are many fake channels also. So that's why this QR code is given. By scanning this QR code, you can directly join the LinkedIn, this Telegram channel of this Officers Adda 24/7. Okay. Similarly, for this YouTube channel, you can join this YouTube channel also using this QR code. Okay. So do it fast. Okay. The probability distribution of the means of all the possible samples is known as sample distribution of the mean. Is this true or false? The probability, this question we are dealing with. The probability distribution of the means of all the possible samples is known as the sample distribution of the mean. Is it true or false, everyone? What is it? True or false? This, see here, what are we talking of? Probability distribution of the means of the samples. So we are focusing on the word samples over here. So whenever we are doing the probability distribution of any mean or mode or median, anything for the samples, it is known as sample distribution, or it's called a sampling distribution. That is the right word actually, sampling. But in exam they might give you sample also. Okay, so this answer is again true. Okay, this answer is again true. Got it? Next one. The principles of simple random sampling are theoretical foundation of the statistical inference. What is this? Principles of simple random sampling. So just now what did I tell you? What are the four types of samplings? One is simple random, second is systematic, third is stratified, and last one is this cluster, right? So which one is the best sampling? Base you can call it. Base of any sampling techniques or base of statistics. Among these four, which one is considered as a base? Everyone? That will answer this question also. The principles of simple random sampling are theoretical foundation of the statistical inference. Suppose if I have to find any inference of any population, so for that I need to do the best method is simple random sampling. So that is true. Again, true. Remember, simple random sampling is the best sampling. Okay, is the best sampling All the remaining ones like cluster or this systematic or this stratified, these come later. But basic is simple random sampling. Okay. So those who are in the paid class, you might have already know. I have explained you what is the systematic, simple random, stratified. Okay. Those are watching on YouTube, kindly join the paid classes, man, immediately, because there we have lot of time, isn't it? Next one. The standard error of the mean is the standard deviation of the distribution of the sample means. See, this we are dealing in. The standard error of the mean is the standard deviation of the distribution of the sample means. Is this true or false? Standard error of the mean I am talking of. Okay. So here we are talking of the mean. Standard error of the mean is the standard deviation of the distribution of the sample means. So whenever I am talking of the mean over here, standard error means what? Standard error relates to samples. Okay. Remember one simple logic. For population, we always use the word standard deviation, and for this what samples, we always use the word standard error. So standard error of the mean is the standard deviation of distribution of the sample means. So standard error will relate to samples. So this is again true. These are all information points for you. In exam, you might get such questions. Okay? True. Next one. The sampling plan that divides the population into well-defined groups from which random samples are drawn is known as cluster sampling. So, is this known as cluster sampling? A sampling plan that divides the population into well-defined groups. Well-defined. Well-defined means they can be defined in any terms. They can be defined in the terms of region. They can be defined in the terms of age. They can be defined in the terms of marks. Okay, or they can be defined like in systematic sampling. They can be defined just by serial order. So the sampling plan that divides the population into well-defined groups from which random samples are drawn is known as cluster sampling. So is it true or false? True or false? Is it true or false over here, everyone? It is true. See this, again true. See here, I'll tell you one point over here. Even if this answer would have been instead of cluster, the answer would have been like this. Let me give you 3-4 options over here. If the answer would have been instead of cluster, it would have been stratified. Then, or systematic. Then also the answer would have been correct. See here, well-defined groups means what? Whatever is it given specifically that what type of well definition? Is it related to region? See here, I'll give you some hints about this. Cluster will always relate to region. Always relate to region. Stratified will always relate to strata. Means some groups, common things, percentages, 40 to 60%, 60 to 80%. That. Systematic will always relate to line. All of you stand in one line and every 10th person come here. So that is systematic. So these are all well-defined groups. So the answer is true over here. Okay. The standard error of the mean decreases with an increase in the sample size. So as I go on increasing the sample size, will the standard error decrease or will it increase? As I go on increasing the sample size, see, increase in the sample size. So will this standard error decrease or increase? What do you say? True or false? Type fast in the comment section, everyone. Yes. The standard error of the mean decreases with an increase in the sample size. True or false? Let me see. Yes. It is true. That is the basic rule of sampling, right? That is the basic rule of sampling. So the standard error will decrease. What is standard error? Standard error is actually the difference between the population mean and the observed mean. Keep it very simple. So standard error is the difference between the population mean and the observed mean, isn't it? We have that formula z equals to 1 upon psi x bar standard error into x bar minus mu, right? So that formula is no means that formula gives you x bar and mu. The difference is this known as standard error. Okay. To perform the complete enumeration, one would need to examine every item in the population. Means to do some survey. It's that simple. Suppose if I have to do some survey, so will I have to survey each and every element of the of that sample size? Means, suppose if I have been told to find out the average salary in any city in Delhi, let's say, I have been told to find out the average salary in Delhi. Will I have to take the sample of each and every person in the Delhi? Will I have to go to each and every house in Delhi and ask them, what is your salary? What is this? What is this? Some 5-6 questions. Is it required to do the survey of each and every element? Not required, isn't it? What do we do? What do we do in this? We take some representative samples. We'll take the samples in the 4 corners of the city, isn't it? 4 corners, various corners of the city, or some 10 samples from various corners of the city, and then we'll find out the average salary, right? So to perform the complete enumeration, one would need to examine every item in the population. So that is false. Okay, you need not do the enumeration of each and every item of the or do the survey of each and every element of that sample. Okay. In everyday life, we see many examples of infinite population of physical objects. So do we see them? We see many examples of infinite population of physical objects. Is it true or false? Infinite population. Do you see them? Give me some example. Give me some example of physical objects. Infinite population. Type in the comment section, everyone. Infinite population of physical objects. Okay, I'll give you some examples. Let me see how many of you have written. Yeah. Now let me see. So it is okay. Can you tell me the number of stars in the sky? These are physical objects. Stars are physical objects. Do you know the number of stars in the sky? No, you don't know, because they are infinite. Suppose if I give you 1 kg of sugar, 1 kg of sugar, and tell you to count each and every grain of that sugar, each and every grain. Is it possible? Grain, each and every grain. Not possible, isn't it? So these are all physical objects and infinite population. We see many examples. That is true. We see so many examples, right? So that is true over here. Next one. To obtain a theoretical sampling distribution, we consider all the samples of the given size. So see this. To obtain a theoretical sampling distribution means what is the total number of samples taken, how the samples are distributed. This comes under the normal curve, bell curve we call it. We consider all the samples of the given size. So do we consider all the samples or no? All the samples, everyone? So the answer is true. Yes, we consider all the samples of the given size. See here, sampling distribution, if you have to take, you have to consider all the samples, whichever sampling you have done. Okay, so the answer is true again. Got it? Let me see how many of you have answered this. Yeah. Next one. Larger samples are always a good idea because they decrease the standard error. So if I have the larger samples, will it decrease my standard error? Yes, they will decrease. Just now we saw it in one of the above questions. As the sample size increases, the standard error will decrease. So does it mean I must always go for larger samples? Is it true? What about the cost? Suppose if I am doing a sample survey of 50 persons versus I am doing the sample survey of 5,000 persons. What will be the cost of 5,000 persons? So it's not always a good idea. That is a false answer. It is not always a good idea because cost considerations are very important. In sampling, cost is very important part. Okay. Now before going ahead, everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. I gave you the link also. Scan that QR code, okay, and subscribe to this channel immediately. Okay. So in this channel, you are getting all the latest updates from IIBF plus free YouTube series. Right now, what are you watching? You are watching the free YouTube series. So you're getting that also. So that's why subscribe to it. Click on the bell icon immediately. The mean of certain population was 15. Most of the samples we could take from that population would likely have a mean of 15. Is it true? See here, mean of a certain population was 15. So if the mean of certain population, suppose if there is a city and I am having the average salary of that city is 15,000, let's say, okay. So the mean of the samples which I took from all the 5 corners of the city. So will the mean of those samples also be 15 or no? That is, let me see. Okay, let me see first from your side. Are you saying true? It is false. False. Again, the answer is false over here. Why? Because it's not compulsory that the mean of the sample should be 15 only. I'll give you an example. Suppose I'm having the samples here. I took 4 surveys, let's say 4 corners of the city, and I got the average as, means average of one was 10, second one was 20, okay, third one was 15, and fourth one was, let's say 17, okay, and this I'll make it 8. Suppose if I got these 4 salaries, 8,000, 20,000, 15,000 and 17,000. Now you do the addition of all these. 20 plus 8, 28 plus 15, 33, right? 33, then 43, 43, then this 7, 15, then 60, right? So total I'm getting it as 60 over here. Total is 60. Do the average upon 4. So what am I getting? I'm getting this as 15. So my population mean is coming out as 15. But were all the samples having the mean of 15? No. So it's not compulsory. That is the point I'm stressing. So that is false. The standard error of a sample statistic is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. So standard error of a sample statistic is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. That is true. What did I say earlier? Sample standard error is same as the standard deviation. So that is true over here. Okay. True. Whatever this other name for standard deviation is standard error in case of samples. For population, it is standard deviation. Judgment sampling has the disadvantage that it may lose some representativeness of the sample. Judgment sampling. What is judgment sampling? There are 2 types of sampling. One is probability, second is judgment. So judgment sampling has a disadvantage that it may lose some representatives of the sample. That is true. Because judgment is based on the individual judgment. Suppose if I am the judge, I feel something is right, but there may be other things which are out of my purview or out of my thinking, but they may also be right. So that is true over here. Next one. The sampling fraction compares the size of the sample to the size of the population. Now this you must definitely tell me. Let me see. You must definitely tell me this answer. It should be, yeah, sampling fraction compare the size of the sample, size of the sample to the size of the population. So that is, yeah. It is true. That is the meaning of this sampling fraction. Okay, that is true.
Yes, hello everyone. So, my name is Suprabha and I'm your ABM English medium mentor. And today we are going to start the some questions from the some question from your module B, right? So that is your ABM class, right? Okay, so that is your ABM class, and in this class we are going to have some question, right? So this is the first question from your Dalton, Thompson and Price, right? This is a question which is from your Dalton, Thompson and Price. So Dalton, Thompson and Price, he has given the four type of career role basically. The number one is that is apprentice. Okay. Then number two is that is colleague, right? Then number three is that is mentor, and number four is that is sponsor. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of apprentice? Actually, apprentice, that is more related to that. This is the person who has joined recently. So that is a more like a fresher. Okay. That is a fresher level job. So when we are talking about right, so when we are talking about the Dalton Thompson Prize for career role, that means apprentice is what? Apprentice is actually the fresher level. Okay, these role is given by the Dalton Thompson Prize. In short, we can call it as a DTP, right? But colleague is what? When you have gained some experience, that around 1 year or 2 year, right? You are not that much dependent on your senior. Okay. Then the third is mentor, right? Mentor is about like you are having 5+ years of experience, right? And at that point of time, now what you are doing is at that point of time, right? You are more, right? You are now giving the ideas to the other person. Okay. Now you are actually, right, you are actually mentoring the other person. Okay. So that is a mentor. Now you are guiding the other person basically. Okay. Now what is a sponsor? A sponsor is when you are the part of the top management. You are part of the top management. We called it as a sponsor stage. Okay. Now normally what kind of question will be asked from this topic, that is career role, which is given by Dalton, Thompson and Price. Normally IIPF, they will ask about the, first of all they will ask about sequence, that what is a sequence of career role. Then they can ask you about that, maybe case study type of question can come, or maybe the match the following type of question can come from this part. Okay. Case study is what? Some situation will be given to you that a person, he has joined recently, okay, and he don't have any experience, he is very fresher and he is very dependent on his senior. So what kind of role he is playing? That means he is playing the apprentice. So that kind of situation will be given to you. Okay, and that type of scenario will be given to you. So these type of question can be asked. The other question maybe that can be asked is the match the following, right? Some situation will be given to you. Okay, and based on that situation you have to identify which situation is belong to which role. Okay, but here we are asking about the sequence. So that is apprentice, then colleague, then mentor and then sponsor. Okay, that is ACMS, right? The right answer is ACMS. That means A is what? Apprentice, this one, then 2, 1 and 3. So B is the right answer. Okay, then now second question, which of the following is a mismatch, right? Mismatch we have to find out. in the career concept, both career concept are very important. The career role and career concept, it is according to the Michael Driver. Michael Driver, he has given 4 type of career concept. Now tell me which one is the wrong one. You have to identify the mismatch. That means which one is not matching actually. Tell me. According to you, which one is not matching? See, the linear career concept, when we are talking about the linear career concept, right? That means, what is the meaning of linear career concept? It is the upward movement in same organization in the same domain. Okay? Suppose you have joined bank as a law officer, as a scale 1. Then you got promoted as a scale 2, as a law officer within same bank, then OF3, then OF4. Okay? It is the upward movement in the same organization in the same domain. Linear career movement, like this. Okay? Steady state career is what? Where actually you acquired higher skill. You have knowledge, so much knowledge you have, but you chosen that not to go up in the hierarchy. Okay? That means you are having some knowledge. You have acquired the higher skill, but stagnation is there. You have choose not to go up in the hierarchy. Okay? Then when we are talking about the third one, right, that is actually the transitory career pattern. Okay? Transitory career pattern is shift from one job to another with acquiring excellence. Okay? Transitory is what? You have joined, then like this. Okay? Then you have moved here, again started from 0, then like this, again started from 0, then like this, started from 0, then like this, started from 0, then. Okay? So you have changing the pattern, but without acquiring any excellence. Without. So I have written here with, which is a wrong. Okay? You are shifting from one job to another. You have shifting. You are doing, suppose, job as a animator. Okay? Then again you have started from 0. You left that job after doing work for 2 years, 1 or 2 years. Then you left that job. Then again you have started in the marketing. Then after working 2 years, you again left that job. So it is normally quite happening. Okay? Now when we are talking about, right, third last one, that is spiral career. That means you are taking new job, you are working hard, you have performed well and move up in the status, then move to the another kind of job. Okay? So basically what you are doing is, you are working like this, then you went down like this, then again you are working hard like this. Okay? So it is a spiral career. You worked hard, okay? You perform well, okay? Then move up in the status and then move to the another type of job. Suppose you are working in the bank, okay, as a law officer, but and you have got promoted even as a scale 2, scale 3, okay? But after scale 3, maybe because of any family problem or maybe any personal problem, right, you have to move, okay? Then you have to move to the like different job, okay? Maybe teaching. So that is a spiral career. You have chosen actually the banking as your career, and you have worked there for at least around like 4 to 7 years. Then maybe because of any family reason, even you got promoted there, but maybe because of any family reason you have to quit that job. Okay? So that is, we called it as a, right, spiral career. So these are the 4 career anchor which is given by the Michael Driver. Okay? So here actually the third one is the wrong one. Okay? So C is the right answer. Okay? Now we have third question. Which of the following aspect of career planning include the attitudinal characteristic that guide people throughout their career? Okay? So option A is career anchor, B is career path, C is career goal, D is career management. Okay, so there are 5 career anchor, right? When we are talking about the career anchor, okay, that means it is actually your talent. Okay, this is actually the individual's talent. When we are talking about the career anchor, that means we are talking about the talent. Maybe you are having the talent of cooking, maybe you are having the talent of singing, maybe like home decoration, right? So any type of career anchor you have. So there are actually 5 career anchor which is given by the Edgar's. Of course the answer is A here, but there are 5 career anchor. The number 1 is technical and functional competence, managerial competence, security, creativity and autonomy. Technical is what? That is actually the field in which you are in love with. Okay, suppose coding. Okay, so this is the like technical field. Okay, but managerial competence is what? You want to manage other people. Okay, you want to manage the other people. Okay, so definitely you want to go up in the hierarchy because you love to take promotion. Okay, na? You love to take, okay, you love to take promotion, you love to take right, go up in the hierarchy. Okay, na? Right? So this is actually the situation. Okay, so now, and there are 4th career anchor which is security or maybe the stability. So what is security? What is a stability means? That means you want a job where you have the stability, where you have the security, like government job. Creativity is what? Where you have the creativity, like you can perform your creativity. Okay, autonomy is what? That means you are having some autonomy in your work. Okay, that means you are actually, okay, autonomy is what? That means you don't have to join the organization, you can work even the as a freelancer, you can start your own startup. Okay, so that is the autonomy. Technical functional competence, managerial, security, creativity and autonomy. These are the 5 career anchor which is given by the Edgar Sitchin. Okay. Now the next question is, a person who believes that his or her achievement are determined by fate would be described as having the locus of control. There are 2 type of locus of control. One is internal, okay, and the another one is external. Okay, external and internal. So suppose whatever happening in my life, I am the responsible. Okay, I'm thinking that I'm believing that I am the responsible for whatever happening in my life. And if I am thinking that my belief is that whatever happening in my life, that is because of my destiny, that is because of my fate, that is because of my luck, that means I'm having the external control, external locus of control. So to whom I'm blaming? If I'm blaming myself, whatever happening in my life, I am the responsible one. That means I'm having the internal locus of control. And if my belief is that whatever happening in my life, that is because of the external locus of control, that means I'm thinking that whatever happening in my life, that is because of the fate, that is because of the luck, that is because of the destiny. Okay, so that is external locus of control. Okay, now question number 5, which of the following are correct statement for different power bases? That is coercive power, expert power, referent power, reflected power. Okay, so which one is actually the correct statement, right? You have to identify option 1 and 2, 1 to 4, then 1 to 3 and 1, 3 and 4. Okay, that you need to identify. So there are 5 power actually given by the French and rebel. Okay. Number 1 is coercive power. Then we have the reward power, right? Then we have referent power. Okay. Then we have legitimate power, right? Then we have expert power. And other than this, we have two other power, that is emotional power, right? And reflected power. Okay. So what is the coercive power? Coercive power is, in that power leader normally threaten to the other person. Okay. Reward is, that means leader is rewarding, appreciating to the team member. Referent means what? The power in which actually your follower, they are having the trust on you. Okay. They blindly trust you. They follow you. Whatever you are doing, they will follow. Okay. That is a referent power. That is because of your exceptional characteristic they are following. For example, Mahatma Gandhi, okay, Anna Hazare, Subhash Chandra Bose, they all are having the referent power. People listen to them. Okay. They follow them actually. Then we have the legitimate power. Now what is the legitimate power? That is the power which normally we gain by our designation. Suppose I am the Prime Minister of India. So definitely I am enjoying some power. That is a legitimate power. Then we have expert power. That is because of my knowledge, because of my expertise, by virtue of knowledge. Emotional power is what? That means you have attached to someone and even you are working beyond your duty. Okay. So that is a emotional power. You are emotionally connected to that person. Then reflected power is, you gain the power because you are in the close proximity to the powerful resource. Suppose you are the PA of the President of India, right? Reflected power. You are having the strong reflection of that personality. Okay, I am the PA of President of India. That means I am enjoying the reflected power. Definitely I am also having some power because of that, right? So here the answer is 1, 2 and 4. Okay, so the answer here is, that is B is the right answer, right? Okay, now we have the sixth question. Okay, that is group formation stage, right? So in your ABM book, it is written at F, S and C, P, but in your HR elective book, it is given like F, S and P, A. Okay, so forming, storming, norming, confirming, performing. Forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. And normally in all the HR book, this is given actually, but you have to remember this one also, because in your ABM book, it is written that the right sequence is FS and CP. That is also the correct one, not a wrong one definitely. What is the forming? Forming is when the group member, they meet each other. Okay, it is like a icebreaker, introduction part. Then you have storming. What is a storming? When the conflict actually begin. Okay, the actual conflict begin. Then you have norming, where you actually started respect for each other. C is what? Confirming. Then you are starting confirming each other. Okay, then performing. Finally you will perform. Same here also, the A is stand for adjourning. Then after performing, you will be adjourned by your group. Okay, parted your ways. So here the answer is, these are the group formation stage. Forming is number 1, storming is number 2, norming is number 3, then number 4 and number 5. Okay, so here definitely the answer is.
Hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. We are in the Scholar series for APM. In this we are covering the important objective questions, important theory, as well as the important numericals. So follow the series completely. Okay, let's start. Event. First definition. What is an event actually? Okay, when we have marriage at a home or some function at a home, what is that called as? That is called as event. Event means what? Something happening, something special happening, or you can call it something happening. Similarly, over here, banking event means what? A declaration of a banking moratorium or any suspension, waiver, deferral, or repudiation of payments by banks with respect to indebtedness or deposits in the relevant jurisdiction. Now look at this event. What did I tell you about the marriage? It can be any event, right? Means some people are gathering, something is happening, so that you get an event over here, right? Similarly, over here, what is happening? Declaration of bank moratorium. What do you mean by moratorium? Okay. Moratorium means everyone understands. Here, we'll explain each and every term over here. Moratorium. Moratorium means what we have. Where do we have moratorium? We have moratoriums in home loans, right? Generally, we have them in home loans. What is a moratorium? It is a period where I don't have to pay the EMIs. Now, there can be various things, various points to this. For example, if I consider home loan, what do? I don't pay the interest. I'll write it over here. See this. In home loan, what is the moratorium? I don't pay the interest. Don't pay EMI, right? I don't pay EMI. I pay only interest. Pay only interest, right? That is home loan moratorium. Is there any other moratorium? Yes, there is. Which one? Everyone, type in the comment section. Which one is the other moratorium? Yes, yes, yes. It is. Other one is example, education loan, right? In education loan also we have the moratorium. What is educational loan moratorium here? How does the education loan work actually? Education loan works like this. Suppose if I am having, let's say, how many years? 4 years of engineering generally. So if I am having 4 years of engineering or medical is a 5 years generally. So if I am having 4 years of engineering, so these 4 years plus 1 year for job searching, 1 year. So total 5 years, the bank doesn't ask from me. Here the bank has given me the loan. So up to 5 years, bank doesn't ask from me any principal or interest. If I want to pay, I can pay. Suppose if my father, mother or my parents are rich enough, they'll pay this interest within this. Okay. So EMI is not paid over here. Interest can be paid, or else bank even says that you don't pay anything up till the time of 5th year. Once you start the job, then you pay this interest, remaining interest also for this period. So year from year, what happens? Your principal amount, loan amount increases along with that interest. So that interest will also be calculated over here. From here, the person will have to pay EMIs, regular EMIs. So this is known as what? Moratorium. Moratorium means here I don't have to pay anything. Okay, that is moratorium. Where else do you find moratorium? Moratorium we found out where? We found out in during COVID time. COVID time, what happened? Government deferred the interest payment of many of the clients. Deferred. So don't pay for those 2 years. Pay it later. So that is again a moratorium. Okay. Or any suspension. Suspension means what? Directly suspended. Not to pay right now. It can be called as similarly to moratorium also. Waiver. Waiver is something different. Waiver and moratorium, they are different. What is waiver? In waiver, remember what happens. In moratorium, I'll have to pay later. But in waiver, I don't have to pay anything. Waiver, right? So equals to no payment. No payment. That is known as waiver. We have many farm loans which are waived, right? We have many times farm loans are waived. Then what happens? Next is farm loans, then certain business loans. Business loans are never waived as such. Only farm loans are waived in India mainly, right? So that is waiver. Waiver means that person doesn't have to pay anything. Deferral, repudiation of payments by banks with respect to indebtedness or deposits in the relevant jurisdiction. So with respect to indebtedness means somebody is having the loan but that person is not able to pay the loan. So that is known as either waiver or this suspension, right? So next, event means that imposition by any governmental authority of any moratorium on or any suspension, waiver, deferral, repudiation. So imposition by governmental authorities. Generally the waiver comes from the government only during the election time mainly. Look at the state elections many a times. You get all these waivers during that time. Government authority of any moratorium or any suspension or any waiver, right? So this is known as an event. Okay, event means something happening. Okay, mutually exclusive. Exclusive means what? Things that are mutually exclusive are not able to occur simultaneously. What do you mean by this? Not able to occur simultaneously means at one time they will never occur. Which are the two examples? Which are the examples? Give me one example from your side which will not occur simultaneously. Give me one example. It is number one. Suppose I toss a coin. Toss a coin. What does it? What does it do while coin? I'll get either head or I'll get either tail. I won't get both, isn't it? Is it possible to get both in this while tossing the coin? Can you get both over here? Never, right? We never get both over here. So that's why the coin tossing means it will give you either head or it will give you either tail. Never it will it give you both, right? Sure. So that is one. What is the other one? Other one can be, anyone can give me other one? Other one can be, what is the other one? Right? It can be, suppose dice which we throw during our school days. We played that dice, right? Die, throwing a die, right? So that 1 to 6. So that is again a die, isn't it? So that is mutually exclusive events. Means what? Coin head or tail can never occur at one time. So that is exclusive. So in business also, in business I can either fail or I can succeed. It can't happen at once. Sure, somebody can say I can fail in the business earlier and then I can lead in the business at some time also. That can happen. But can it happen right now? I am failing also and I have succeeded also? Never. It's called as binary. It's either this or that. Okay. In business, this is typically concerning the undertaking of projects, allocating a budget or allocating a budget. Means what? Undertaking a project means what? Undertaking the project. Project means, suppose if I undertake a project, either it will succeed or it will fail. It will be never in between. Suppose if it gets delayed, then also it's a sort of failure only. I'm not able to do it on time. Okay. So undertaking a project is a type of, will give you mutually exclusive events. Either it will succeed or it will fail. Okay. If two things are mutually exclusive, it means the existence and occurrence of one does not necessarily mean the other cannot coexist. Cannot. What does it mean? It means that suppose if I fail in any business, it doesn't mean I can't succeed. It can coexist. It can exist, but not at the same time. It can come at some other time. That is known as exclusive. Okay. See here, always remember exclusive events are shown like this. This is one, and the second part is over. Either it can be over here, or this is also an exclusive event. Okay, these are not attached. But inclusive means they are common. They can coexist at one time. So this is not the case in exclusive events. Okay. Everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, you will be getting the latest updates on JIB and CIB. Number two, you will be getting the free YouTube series on all the subjects of JIB and CIB. Okay. So subscribe to it, click on the bell icon, click on the like button. Okay. Random experiment or trial. What do you mean by random experiment? Okay, what is the word random called as? Random means what? Random means anything. Suppose if I go to any place which I don't know, then where am I going? I am going to a random place, isn't it? Suppose if I how does the mosquito move in air? It moves in the random direction. Okay, it doesn't have any specific direction. So that is known as random. So what is random experiment? An operation or experiment conducted under the identical conditions and which has number of possible outcomes is called as a random experiment or trial. So an operation or experiment conducted under the identical conditions. Look at this, identical. This is important. Identical conditions means those conditions which are similar. Similar. Okay, these are called as identical. Two boys are identical. Two girls are identical. It means what? They are similar looking. Okay. So two countries are identical. It means what? Their culture is similar. Okay, that is known as identical. So similarly, when I say conducted under identical conditions, what does it mean? Under similar conditions and which has number of possible outcomes. Now it can be various outcomes which can come out. Okay, so that is known as random experiment or trial. Got it, everyone? Important part, remember identical conditions and number of possible outcomes. That is known as this random experiment or trial. So example, tossing a coin. Now you will say, how can this be related to identical conditions? It can be. I toss a coin once, so I can get either head or tail. Now second time when I toss, I am again doing it under the identical conditions only. Just now I tossed once, again I am tossing that coin. So now again I can have not only head, I can have tail also. So it's given which has number of possible outcomes. So under the same conditions I have tossed the coin once, again I have tossed the coin same in the same condition twice, but here I am getting a different outcome. I am not getting the head. So that is known as a random trial or experiment. I have done it in the identical conditions. Same, I have tossed the coin once. Similarly, I have tossed the coin in the same condition, but I am getting different result. Similarly, throwing a dice. Suppose if I throw a dice, what can happen? What can be the outcomes in the dice? I can either, what is the dice basically? This is the dice, right? Which we played Ludo in our childhood, right? Ludo. We had all those 6 faces, then 1 over here, then 2 over here, like this, right? 3 over here, and then all these 6 outcomes were there. So that is throwing a dice. So when I throw a die over here, I can either have 1 at the top or 2 at the top or 3 at the top. So how many outcomes are possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 outcomes are possible because there are 6 faces, right? Selecting a card from the pack of cards means what? Again, look at this. From a pack of cards, how many cards are there? There are 52 cards. Okay. We don't consider the joker in considerations, right? So selecting a card. Selecting a card means I can select any card. If I select any card, so it can be any one of those 52. So what am I doing? Under this, look at this. Identical conditions again. Identical conditions. So the same pack of cards is there. I am selecting once. So again I am selecting the second card. So doing the same experiment again with the similar conditions, but outcomes may be different. At that time I had got it some, let's say, ace of this heart. I might get a ace of queen, this spade then, right? In the second time, anything is possible. So that's why under the same conditions, if I do something and the outcomes are different, that is known as random experiment. Now let's solve some numericals. The percentage of marks obtained by a student on a monthly test are given below. So these are the 5 tests. Now by a student, they are obtained by one student only. So this is one student who is giving these marks. Okay. So what are the tests? 5 tests are there. Now percentage of marks are given over here: 69, 71, 73, 68 and 74. Based on the above table, find the probability of the student getting more than 70% of the marks in the test. So more than 70%, where can that student get? Now this is something different, isn't it? What is the answer? Answer it, everyone. How many of you can answer this? Let me see. Very simple. See here, the probability formula is always, what is the formula for probability? Let me draw a line over here. Otherwise it will hide behind my video, right? Probability formula is what? Probability equals to what? Success, whatever is the success criteria, right? Success upon sample space, right? Total sample space, or you can call it simple required upon total. It's that simple. Here we should always keep the formula in simple language. Okay, so now coming back, what is this? How many tests are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do I want? So total number of tests is what? 5. So I've got it over here. I'll mark this total. I'll write it. Total equals to 5. Right? This is 5. Now what is required or success? Required is what is my requirement? Required is I want more than 70% of marks, right? I want more than 70% of marks, right? So in that case, what happens? More than 70% of marks. In how many tests am I getting it? In first test, what am I getting it? 69. So this is less than 70. This is greater than 70. Greater than 70, right? Less than 70. Then greater than 70, right? So in how many am I getting greater than 73? 1, 2, and 3, right? And these two I'm not getting, right? So now what is my required? Required is more than 70. So in 3 tests I'm getting more than 70. So what is my probability? Probability equals to required upon total. What is required? 3 upon 5. Okay, or success upon sample space. Sample space means what? I've covered it in my earlier lecture. In sample space, what happens? I take entire whatever is the gamut, whatever is the total outcomes, I take that. So 3 upon 5 is what? 0.6. So this is my probability, isn't it? Always remember, your probability can never be less than 0. And your probability can never be greater than 1. It will be between this only, 0 and 1. It can be 0 also, it can be 1 also, but it can't be greater than 1, it can't be less than 0. Okay. In how many ways one king can be selected from a 52 cards? Oh, one king can be selected from 52 cards. Again, let's solve it. Probability means what? Probability. Give me the formula now. Everyone type fast. Let me keep it very simple. Required upon total, right? Okay. Now let's get it. What is the total? Total is what over here? Total. How many cards are there? 52. What is required? Required equals to one king, right? One king. But one king can be selected from how many kings? How many kings are there total? Total number of kings. Total number of kings are 4. So I can select any one of these 4. Is it given one king of this, one king of that, something? Nothing. So required equals to 4 over here, right? So when the required number is 4, so my probability will be what? Probability equals to required is 4 upon 52. Now give me the answer. That becomes 1 upon 13. Now solve this, everyone. Everyone solve this. Let me see who all can solve right now immediately. See here, your exams are near. Okay? You can't take the things lightly. Okay? Yeah. What is the answer? 1 upon 13, right? So it is 1 upon 13. 0.07, right? So it is 0.07. 0.07 and 2 something. Okay, 0.7. That much is enough. So the probability of getting one king from a pack of 52 cards is 0.07. Okay. Next one. In how many ways I'll get one ace king can be selected from 52 cards? Means one ace king to be selected from 52 cards. So again, probability equals to required upon total, right? Upon total. So what is required now? One ace king. And what is total? Total is 52 cards. So total is 52 over here. What is required now? One ace king. How many ace kings are there? in the pack of 52? How many ace kings are there? Yeah, it's only one, right? How many types of cards are there? We know all these in our Hindi language or our Marathi language or our local language, but in English, how many types of cards are there? Spade, spade. Then what? Heart, right? Heart. Then what? Type fast. Spade, heart. Then other one? Diamond. Correct. Diamond, diamond, diamond. Spade, heart, diamond. Next one. Which is the other one? Fast, fast, fast. Yeah. Which is the other one? Yeah. Which are the types? So spade, this, everyone. Fast, fast, fast. One more is club, right? Club. Everyone has got it. See here, what happens? We speak about these in our local language, but we don't know about these English words. And these are asked in the exam many times. Okay. So let's come back to our problem. It is required upon total. So 1 upon 52. So that is the answer. That's it. 1 upon 52. What is the answer for 1 upon 52? 0.019. Okay. So 0.019. This is my required probability. One ace king can be selected from 52 cards. In how many ways can I select one joker card from a pack of 52 cards? Again, simple one. So probability equals to required upon total, right? How many cards are there? Total. How many cards are there? 52. So 52. Okay. How many jokers are there in that 52 cards? How many jokers are there? There are 0 jokers. Joker is outside this pack of 52. So the probability is 0.
Hello everyone, welcome to Officer Adda 24/7. My name is Suprabha and I'm your ABM mentor. See, today's CIB registration date and exam date both are released now, right? And what is the exam date exactly? See, the exam date, the ABM exam, it is scheduled from the, it is on 7th of July, that is, right? Then BFM and ABFM both are continuous, that is 13th and 14th. Okay, and you have BRBL, so you will be getting full 1 week for BRBL, 21st of July. Then the last exam, that is HR elective, again it will be on 27th. So full week, that is HR, rural and all the elective paper, it will be on 27th. So definitely you have approx March, April, May, June, 4 complete month in your hand. Okay, na? For the preparation of the CIB exam, and you have total 4 compulsory paper and 1 elective paper. Okay, so 4 compulsory paper plus 1 elective paper you have, and you have to prepare all these 5 subjects, that is ABM, BFM, ABFM, 4th is BRBL, 5th is rural HR or maybe any elective paper, 27th of July. Okay, and registration, it is going to be start from the 7th of May 2024, that is. Okay, that is 7th of May 2024. Now we are having the first question, that is from the chapter of compensation. Okay, blank. Studies of employee perception and perspective of an organization, the survey address attitude and concern that help the organization work with employee to instill the positive changes. Option A is climate survey, option B is cultural audit, option C is diversity enlargement, and option D is quality of work life. Tell me which one is the right answer. I'm just checking your comment also. So which one is the right answer? This question is from your that is from your compensation and reward and management part. Okay, so here I'm going to ask you that what is the concept, we called it as a where we have to check the employees' perception and perspective about the different, like maybe the salary, maybe the environment, or maybe anything. So you have to check the what is the pulse of the organization. What is exactly the pulse of the organization? We called it as the option A, climate survey. B is cultural audit. C is diversity management, and D is quality of work life. What is the right answer? The right answer here is that is climate survey. So normally climate survey, this will be used to identify or maybe to check the perception or the perspective of the employee regarding the different parameter which is there in the organization, like your boss support, leadership, ठीक है, your relationship with the peers, your colleague, salary part, compensation part, benefit part, right? All these parameters will be covered in the climate survey. So any company, normally even in the bank also, nowadays they are conducting these type of survey. Recently actually SBI and Canara Bank, they have conducted the climate survey, but for private organization this is the old concept, right? So climate survey is what? Through the climate survey you can check the pulse of the organization. That means what is the perception, what is the thinking of the employee with respect to the organization. So we called it as a climate survey. Question number 2 is, that is a very important question, and normally every year IIBF will ask, which of the following type of compensation is not matched correctly? Option A is managerial remuneration, supervisory salary, clerical payment, unskilled semi-skilled wage. Okay, so this is a very common question, and normally IIBF will ask this type of this question. Normally they will ask every year. Okay, so what is that type of compensation which is not matched correctly? For managerial we called it as a remuneration, for supervisory we called it as a salary. These both are correct, but again for clerical we called it as a salary, not payment. Okay, so we have to identify the incorrect one. We called it as a salary in case of clerical staff. So this is the mismatch here. Normally this type of question IIBF even they can ask in the match of the following option also. Okay, so this is a very common, right? Chale. So now we have the question number 3, that is race. What is the full form of race? Please remember. Okay, this is a very common question actually. Doesn't just reward for good work, but it take care of the career. What does RACE stands for? Okay. Option A is recognition and career enhancement. B is regular assessment of critical excellence. C is rational and compassionate employment. And D is reward associated to compensation for the employee. Right. So what is the meaning of RACE? This is the full form is, normally full form IIBF has asked last to last year, that is recognition and career enhancement. So this question is from your reward and compensation management. Okay. Now what is the question is all about? That is the full form I am asking. But what is the RACE is exactly? It is actually time bound, automatic, transparent, structured program for employee of quoted based on the performance, and they have to work on the 4 basic principles, that is passion, pride, progress and prosperity. Okay, RACE means what? That is actually the structured and transparent program for the employee of the bank, because you have to identify the, right, you have to identify the performance of the employee based on the these 4 parameters. Okay, that is compensation, pride, progress and prosperity. Okay, these are the 4 bases. So please remember the full form of the RACE. The full form is recognition and career enhancement. Okay, option A is the correct one. Question number 4 is salary, technical supervision, working condition and status. These all are the organization are all factors which can be classified. This question is from your Herzberg two-factor theory. Okay, he has given the two factor. One is HF and the another one is MF. Now what is the HF is? The HF is actually the hygiene factor. Okay, hygiene is what? Hygiene means these are the factor, right, which won't give you the motivation. Okay, that won't give you any motivation, no motivation, but their absence, even if it is not there, their absence will cause the highly dissatisfaction among staff. Now what is the MF? MF is actually motivates you, okay, highly motivated, but even if it is not there, it will not cause any dissatisfaction, it will not cause. Okay, so when we are talking about the salary, when we are talking about the technical supervision, working condition, status, or your relationship with your peers, with your colleague, with your junior, these all are the hygiene factor. Every month you will be getting the salary. Okay, it is not the motivating factor, but if any month you won't get, then definitely it can cause you the highly dissatisfaction. Working condition, if it is very good working condition, okay, it is okay. If there is a very bad working condition is there, definitely it will give you the highly dissatisfaction, right? So what is the MF and what is the HF? MF is what? That is like achievement or recognition, advancement, okay, or even work itself. Okay, work itself, even work itself is the motivating factor, not the hygiene factor. So please remember, normally people they will get confused between the work itself and working condition. Work itself is the MF, but working condition is the HF, that is. Okay, so please remember. Understood? Okay, now we are having the question number 5, that is the person who was a good performer in the distant past is assured to be okay at present also. This is an example of which effect in the performance appraisal. Okay, that is status effect, that is the horn effect, central tendency or spillover. Very common question it is from the barrier side of performance appraisal. Okay, so here we are talking about the barrier of the performance appraisal. All the barriers are very important, very. Okay, barriers or maybe hurdle, you can take it, you can call it as a. Okay, so when the person who is the good performer or maybe vice versa, maybe is the bad performer in the distance past, it will be assured that he is the bad performer today also. And if he is the good performer in the distance past, then it will be assured that he is a good performer even today also. Okay, so this is, we called it as a spillover effect. Okay, that is the spillover effect. A very common question it is, right? So from the performance appraisal method, from the barrier side, these question normally the IIBF they will ask. Okay, very common question. See, performance appraisal method and barrier, both are the very important topic even in your ABM exam and your ABFM and the HR elective. This is a common topic in among all these three. Okay, ABM, ABFM and HR elective, but a very important topic. All the performance appraisal method, all the barriers. Okay, very important, right? Chali, now moving to the next question, question number 6, that is the rater is forced to answer the ready-made statement as given in the block of 2 or more about the employee in terms of true or false. This method of performance appraisal is known as option A, forced distribution, rating scale, forced choice and human asset accounting method. ठीक है. See, when actually the reader is forced to answer the ready-made statement, that means there is no opportunity which is available to the reader that he can prepare the statement. He won't. ठीक है, he cannot actually. There is always a ready-made statement is there, right? And the reader, they have to just type maybe yes or no, right? Or maybe true and false. Normally it is true and false. ठीक है. So option A is forced distribution, B is rating scale, C is forced choice, and D is human asset accounting method. So the answer here is that is forced choice. ठीक है. C is the right answer here. Forced choice. In forced choice method, rater normally they have to take whatever see biasness actually can reduce here. Whatever statement is here, they have to just write maybe it is true or maybe it is false. ठीक है, either it is right or maybe false. ठीक है ना. So that is a forced choice. There is no option for reader to prepare the statement because the statement are already there. ठीक है, he don't have any choice that he can prepare the statement. Right now we are moving to the next question. ठीक है, you all can give your answers, right? Because right, so we are having the question number 7. The question number 7 here, the process of examining large and varied data sets to uncover hidden pattern, unknown correlation, market trend, customer preferences, and other useful information that help organization make more informed business decision is called. We called it as a option A, data mining, option B, customer relationship management, option C, that is big data analytic, option D, business statistic analysis. So that is a process of where we can examine the large and varied data. ठीक है, and by examining that large and varied data, we can uncover the hidden pattern, we can uncover the unknown relation, we can uncover the market trend, we can uncover the even customer preferences also. ठीक है, so we called it as a big data analytic. ठीक है, I'm using the word that is large. ठीक है, I'm using the word that is varied data, large and varied. So that is of course big data analytic. In last year June exam, IIBF they have asked actually that Hadoop or Yarn, these all are the type of which one. Okay, so answer is big data analytic. Yarn or Hadoop, there are so many software. Okay, in ABFM actually there is a common topic with ABFM also. So I think in ABFM they have asked that what is the Yarn and Hadoop and all. So these all are the software which is related to the big data analytic. ठीक है, right? Now we have the next question that is from the John Holland personality theory. ठीक है, this question is from the John Holland personality theory, right? See, this question is this is a John Holland personality theory, RIASEC. ठीक है, now the question is Sunita is always enthusiastic about work with ideas, examination, watching, understanding, controlling process. She does not enjoy the social and business activity. ठीक है, she cannot enjoy. In the troubleshooting, problem solving, she depend on thinking, collecting data and make the careful analysis. She is very good in the careful analysis. According to the John Holland personality theory, which profession more suits to her? That is mathematics teacher, librarian, electrician and actor. See, if you are the creative, then definitely this profile will suit actor, that is. ठीक है, if you are the realistic, you love to do the physical work, right? That means you can become the electrician, physical work, right? Investigative, if you are very very good in the thinking, examining, ठीक है, controlling, troubleshooting, that means you can become the mathematics teacher. You are very good in the research part. ठीक है, and librarian is what? Librarian is what? That is, okay. Librarian is what? Right? This is the actually actor. This is the actor. Artistic. Okay. This is the conventional. So this is the example of librarian. Right? Conventional, that is. Not creative, that is artistic. Artistic and creative and conventional. So for conventional, the librarian suits, because they are actually, they have to go by the detail orientation, orderly, right? So here the, of course the answer is, that is mathematics teacher she can become. So normally from this topic IIBF, they can ask these type of question, right? That the John Holland theory, they can ask maybe the by giving you the qualities of that particular profession, they can ask you that which profession will be suits to him or her, right? So here the answer is mathematics teacher, right? So all the viewers, first of all, please subscribe our channel, and we have recently launched, right, the victory batch from the 13th of February, that is, okay, 3 subject we have already started. Go here by Adda 24/7. Okay, so this is our website, and you can purchase the batch from the Adda application also. This is a JIB and CIB. You have to go by the category CIB June, that is. Then this is a victory batch which recently we have started on 13th of February, that is. Then Y666, this code you need to apply, and the price is 78% discount you will be getting here. Okay, 78% discount, right? So, and if you want to purchase the Mahapack, then this is the CIB 2.0. All the elective videos are included. Then you have to type the code Y666, then go buy, apply, and the price is 78% discount you will be getting. The price is below the 7473, that is, right? And even coin also you can use it. So thank you and bye bye. And your daily session of ABM English medium will be conducted at 9:30 a.m. Okay, alternatively by me and Vishal. Thank you and bye bye. Take care.